All right, let's jump straight into this explainer and unpack exactly why William Gibson's 1984 masterpiece, Neuromancer, is having such a massive cultural resurgence right now. I mean, for decades, this was the groundbreaking story that quite literally influenced everything from the actual internet we use every single day to huge pop culture phenomenons like The Matrix. And now, it's back in the headlines in a huge way. We're going to explore exactly why and what it reveals about our future, our understanding of technology, and, well, our own bodies. To hook you right away, we are looking at a property that Hollywood long considered completely, absolutely unfilmable. For years, the undeniable consensus was that Neuromancer was just way too dense. It was deemed unfilmable due to its complex narrative structure, its heavy reliance on inner monologues, and its incredibly abstract concepts about cyberspace. It was basically a director's absolute nightmare. Yet, against all odds, it's now transforming into Apple TV Plus's most ambitious sci-fi project to date. So, how on earth do you adapt the unadaptable? Well, that's exactly what we're here to uncover. So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at adapting the unfilmable, then casting the cyberpunk world, visualizing cyberspace, transcending the meat, and finally, the post-human legacy. Let's kick things off with Section 1, Adapting the Unfilmable, a 40-year journey. This timeline perfectly captures the super long, kind of frustrating road we've been on. We're talking about a journey starting from the original novel's birth way back in 1984, passing through an epic and Marvel graphic novel in 1989, and leading all the way to a highly anticipated Apple TV Plus series premiere in 2026. This massive, new undertaking is finally being helmed by creators Graham Rowland and J.D. Dillard, who, fun fact, have been hunting for a reason to team up for nearly a decade. What's truly wild about this production, though, is the huge push for immense authenticity. Co-produced by Rowland and Dillard, this isn't just a studio grabbing a famous title and going rogue. William Gibson himself is actually consulting and reviewing drafts. He's heavily involved to ensure they capture that definitive, gritty cyberpunk vibe. And the scale? It's completely staggering. They are shooting practically around the globe, hitting locations like Tokyo, London, Canada, and Istanbul. Moving right along to Section 2, Casting the Cyberpunk World, Bringing the Sprawl to Life. Apple TV Plus has seriously pulled out all the stops, assembling an incredibly sprawling and talented cast to ground this complex web of hackers, street samurai, and corporate dynasties. We've got Callum Turner stepping in as our troubled, burned-out hacker protagonist, Case. Brianna Middleton takes on the deadly, genetically enhanced mercenary Molly. The ever-versatile Mark Strong is playing the mysterious Armitage, and Emma Laird is stepping into the role of Linda Lee. It's quite a lineup for the sleazy, neon-lit underworld of Chiva City. Emma Laird actually gave us a great quote about the vibe on set. She said, "The costume is insane, the hair and makeup is crazy. What we've made is really grounded and a drama." That perfectly juxtaposes the deeply abstract, kind of confusing nature of the source material with the gritty, practical reality they actually experienced while filming. It's a fascinating contrast, right? While the costumes and makeup are completely insane, the performances themselves are treated as a highly grounded character drama, not just some exaggerated, over-the-top sci-fi. All right, into Section 3, Visualizing the Cyberspace, from page to panel. If we compare the 1984 prose novel with the 1989 Marvel graphic novel adaptation, we can really see the historical struggle of translating this world. The original prose had this incredibly complex narrative structure, a heavy use of inner monologues, and it literally coined the term cyberspace. Then you have the 48-page graphic novel illustrated by Bruce Jensen. It was pretty truncated, sure, but it was visually engrossing. It really proves that taking Gibson's abstract concept of data made flesh, turning lines of code into a physical, explorable hallucination, is just a massive artistic hurdle. Now we're diving deep for Section 4, Transcending the Meat, the Philosophy of Post-Humanism. To really grasp the true soul of this story, we've got to talk about post-humanism. This is a worldview that moves beyond humanist individualism by decentering the human, emphasizing that humanity is not fixed and blurring the lines between the biological and the mechanical. It's a profound academic concept that really questions the boundaries of what it even means to be human in a hyper-technological age. In the universe of Neuromancer, humanity is no longer a fixed thing. It's this open-ended process continuously shaped by digital and cybernetic forces. Notice the massive contrast here between the liberal humanist subject and the post-human subject. Traditionally, the humanist subject relies on the biological body, values organic autonomy, and sees the physical form as the center of identity. Basically, it's how we've always viewed ourselves. But the post-human subject, it flips this entirely. It focuses on information patterns, seeks to escape the physical form, and views the body merely as meat. The ultimate goal is to escape the physical form altogether and treat the biological body with, honestly, absolute disdain. When you anchor these super dense concepts directly to the characters, the philosophy really comes to life in a dramatic way. You have Case's deep, almost violent resentment of his physical meat body because he's absolutely addicted to the disembodied freedom of cyberspace. Then there's Molly Millions and her hardcore cybernetic physical augmentations. And of course, entirely disembodied AI entities like Wintermute pulling the strings from the shadows. Ultimately, Neuromancer shows us a dark world where the shift of power goes entirely toward the disembodied. Supreme autonomy belongs to those who can just leave their physical flesh behind. Which brings us to our final section, the post-human legacy, the physical object. $22. That's the new price tag for Ace Books' upcoming trade paperback special edition of Neuromancer. What's highly notable about this $22 MSRP is that it represents a 10% price increase from previous editions, a jump that actually outpaces standard economic inflation. So you kind of have to ask yourself, why are modern readers so happily paying a premium for a 40-year-old story? Well, the answer is actually fascinatingly ironic. The physical book itself is being augmented. It's getting bright sprayed edges and awesome new cover art by Tavis Colburn. Just as the characters in Gibson's novel use tech to upgrade their physical forms, the publishing industry is physically upgrading the book itself. They are turning a standard trade paperback into a higher-end modified object, which perfectly matches its premium, post-human cultural status right as this huge new television series approaches. I want to leave you with this final thought. As technology increasingly augments our daily lives, are we also trying to transcend the meat? We've seen the massive resources going into this adaptation, and we've explored the deep philosophy driving these characters to escape their physical forms. As you look at your own life, constantly connected to smartphones, heavily relying on algorithms, living huge chunks of your existence in digital spaces, ponder this. How closely does Gibson's 1984 vision mirror our reality today? Are we too quietly trying to transcend the meat? Think about that until our next explainer.